So without further ado, Theo Fleury.
Thanks, my dear. You're probably wondering why, you know, an old hockey player is endorsing a political leader for Canada. So I got a call from Joseph probably a month ago.
During the Freedom Convoy.
Yeah, it was. And he said to me, he said, I need a bodyguard. He said, because I'm going to go out and fight some communists. And I said, well, did you see in 1987 when we brawled the Russians at the World Junior? I said, I've already been there. And I said, we already won. We already kicked the shit out of them. So Joseph asked if I would endorse him in his campaign, and I said, absolutely. You know, I think there's very few people left in government who have integrity, compassion, empathy, you know, the real leadership qualities that I grew up with. You know, I played with some of the greatest leaders in our sport. And, you know, I'm talking about Messier, Gretzky, Lemieux, Sakic, Yzerman, and the list goes on and on and on. And these guys all have one quality that I admired the most. They were all humble guys. They were all humble. There was no ego. There was absolutely zero ego. And they absolutely cared about every single human being that was around the team. From the guy that made the coffee in the morning, who folded the towels to wash the underwear, those particular guys that I mentioned made those guys feel special, feel a part of everything that was going on. And in Ottawa right now, we have an egomaniac who has an inferiority complex, right? Okay? We talk about that in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, right? When we walk in the room, we're egomaniacs with inferiority complexes. And that's exactly the kind of leadership we have in Canada, right? Because if you lead with ego, eventually everybody hates your guts, okay? But if you lead with humility and compassion and empathy and love for your fellow human being, people will follow you to the ends of the earth, okay? And so in 2009, I wrote a book called Playing with Fire, where I was carrying around a secret for many, many years. And it's hard to believe 18 years ago I had a fully loaded pistol in my mouth, ready to pull the trigger and end my life. Not because I wanted to die, but because I was completely exhausted from living in emotional pain and suffering for the majority of my life. And I tried everything on the planet to get rid of this feeling. And the one thing I hadn't tried was honesty, right? And the honesty piece was that book that I wrote, right? And I couldn't have been more honest. I couldn't have been more open. I couldn't have been more forthright with what happened in my life. And because I told this story in a very vulnerable way, you know what happened? Other people started to come and tell me their story, right? Because vulnerability creates safety. And then when you have safety, that's when the magic of healing happens, is when we feel safe. And in the last 2.5 years, how many of us have actually sat in our homes and felt safe and secure with the leadership that's happening in our country? We haven't. We haven't. Right? And, you know, I had no interest in politics at any point in my life. Okay? Then in 2015, I saw my buddy Trump come down the escalator, and I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing running for politics? Because I'd met him several times in New York when I played for the Rangers. And I knew that he was a guy of integrity. And the first time I ever shook his hand, he looked me right in the eye, right? And I knew right away, this guy's a solid guy. And what you see on TV is absolutely nothing from the man that I met, okay? And at that point, I didn't know whether I was liberal, conservative, libertarian. I had no idea what my affiliation was. And so, like everybody else, I turned on my TV and I started watching CNN, okay? And as I was watching CNN, I was like, yeah, something's just not right here, right? So I switched over to Fox, and I was like, oh, there is another side to this fight, right? And so I figured out that first and foremost, I'm a patriot, okay? I'm a patriot, and I love my freedom, and I believe as a citizen of Canada, I have 3 responsibilities. Pay my taxes, vote, and stay out of jail. And those are the only 3 things that I need to provide to my government. Other than that, they can stay the hell out of my life, because I don't need them. I don't need them. Because like Joseph, I'm a Saskatchewan, kind of Manitoba kid, okay? You know what everybody told me my whole entire life? You're too small and you're never going to make it. You're too small and you're never going to make it. Well, guess what? I grew up in a farming community in Russell, Manitoba, and I saw people get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and work till 10 o'clock at night. And guess what? They were all successful people. They drove nice cars. They went on great vacations. You know, they gave to charity, all this stuff. So as a young kid, I said to myself, I'm like, if I work hard, I can be successful, right? And that's what I did. My whole entire hockey career, when I stepped on the ice, nobody was going to outwork me, ever. Nobody was going to outwork me, ever. And so I built this amazing career. You know, they told me I wasn't going to play 1 game in the National Hockey League. Well, guess what? I played over 1,100 games. In the NHL, right? And it was through hard work, determination, love of teammates, and love of the fans, and all that stuff that you know, I built this amazing life. You know? Fame and fortune and all these things. But at the end of the day, all that money corrupted me. Corrupted me, corrupted my family, corrupted my friends. You know, it was insanity. It was complete and utter insanity, right? And that's what we're living in right now. So we're living in insanity, right? Because what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, that's what's happening, right? And what Joseph brings to this campaign, to this leadership campaign, is he wants to stop the insanity. He wants to give you your freedom back. He wants to give you your love of community back. That's what he wants. That's what he wants to do, right? And if you listen to him and his policies and what he's putting out there, I want to be in that Canada. I want to live in that country, right? I want to live in that country because I know if I work hard and I'm an example to my kids, to my community, to my peers, guess what happens? Everybody starts to do the exact same thing, right? And that's what leadership is, yeah, I might be at the top of the pyramid, but guess what? I put my pants on 1 leg at a time, just like everybody else. And I have problems too. I have issues, you know? I have past trauma history, you know, that I live with every single day of my life. I live with my trauma, right? Every day of my life. And COVID-19 is the most traumatic event that's happened since World War II. Trauma. Because at the beginning of COVID, guess what happened to me? I fell into another deep, dark depression. And I didn't get out of bed for 3 months. I stopped eating. I stopped going to the washroom. I stopped showering, everything. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Because I've spent $1 million on therapy. I've done 10,000 hours of therapy, and here I am, back to that familiar place. And what's my familiar place? Abuse. Abuse. I was reliving my abuse. Why? Because the same tactics that my pedophile abuser used against me is the exact same tactics that the government's using against us right now. Coercion, manipulation, lies, cheating, stealing. It's the exact same mentality. The exact same mentality. Right? The exact same mentality. And you know what happened when I connected the dots? I started doing podcasts and I started doing interviews and I started to explain to people exactly what was going on in my life. And you know what happened? My phone absolutely blew up. And people were like, oh my God, thank you for connecting the dots. Thank you for connecting the dots to me. Thanks for waking me up here, right? Because this is abuse. Abuse at the highest levels of government. It is abuse. Physical, emotional, and spiritual abuse. That is exactly what's happening right now, right? And I've done more healing in the last 2.5 years than I ever have in my whole entire life because I was forced to. Because if I didn't, I probably wouldn't be here. Right? And this is the sentiment that I'm getting all across the country from people, is they are exhausted. We are all exhausted, right? Emotionally, physically, and spiritually exhausted. We're exhausted, right? And the only thing that keeps me sane is my faith. Is my belief in something greater than myself. Because why the hell would I have gone through everything that I've gone through in my life to be here at this moment in time to fight the greatest fight we've ever encountered in our life? Right? And the Bible predicted this. This is it. This is it. This is the last battle. This is the final battle. Good versus evil. This is it. And the people we're fighting against, they don't play by the rules. They are dirty. They'll do whatever it takes to win. Right? And mentally right now, that's what they're doing. They're trying to wear us down mentally, right? So what do we do to counter that? Pray. Pray, meditate, be in groups, stick together, come together, right? Because they're trying to pull us apart. They're trying to pull us apart, right? Division, divisiveness, right? Every time Trudeau gets up on the stump and he gets an opportunity to divide us, man, the guy's frothing at the mouth, right? We also know, left to his own defenses, when he gets off script, he's a complete idiot. Right? He's an idiot. He's an idiot. Right? And when I started posting political stuff, I only had I think I was at 80,000 followers on Twitter. And then I started putting the truth out there, right? And, my favorite picture of me on social media is me wearing a tinfoil hat. I love that picture. It's like my favorite picture that's ever been made. I love it. Love that picture. When they put that picture up there, you know why? Because that's when I know I'm telling the truth, right? Because that's all they know how to do, right? They don't have an argument. The other side doesn't have an argument. They insult you, You know, they tell me I got CTE from concussions, you know, my mental health is like, you know, check yourself in, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I must be doing something right, you know? And today, last time I checked, I'm at 196,000 followers on Twitter, right? Because I don't care. I don't care anymore. I do not care anymore. I don't care. I don't care. Huh?
You care?
I don't care.
How have you not been kicked off?
I don't know. I must be doing something right. Yes, they're watching me. They're watching me. And I invite them all. Come over to my house. I'll fight you on the driveway at the end of it. You know, we'll shake hands like we did in the old days, and we'll, you know, we'll send you on your way, you know. But,
It's freezing here.
but yeah, like we're in the greatest fight of our whole entire existence right now, you know. And, you know, one of the most amazing things happened was I heard about the truckers. And I heard that they were gathering and they were going to do this convoy across Canada. So I tweeted out to Laura Ingram. I said, hey, Laura, there's some shit going down in Canada. You should probably get me on the program and, you know, let me talk about it. So I'm like, she's not going to, you know. So the next night I was getting ready for bed and I looked at my email and it was Laura's producer. And she's like, Laura would love to have you on your program. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So being sort of a marketing genius that I am, I said, I need to have like one or two really great sound bites that is going to go right across. It's going to go viral, okay? So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to exaggerate as much as I can. So I said, yep, Laura, there's 50,000 trucks that are going to Ottawa, and there's 1.4 million people headed to Ottawa. And they ain't leaving until we get all of our rights back, or Skippy resigns, right? And so this thing went viral, right? It went viral. And what was really cool is, you know, a former athlete, and, you know, I played for Canada 10 times in my career. I got to wear the jersey 10 times in my career. And so I'm sitting on my couch and I'm watching the convoy start, okay? And I know how depressed I was. I know how lost I was. And what I saw, it was almost like when we play at the biggest tournaments. So whether that's the Olympics or a World Cup of Hockey or the World Championships or whatever, what happens? You walk into your closet and you look for your red pullover or your Team Canada jersey and you take it off the hanger and you shake the dust off of it. And then you go into your garage and you grab your shitty old flag, you know, and you sit in front of your TV for 2 weeks and you live and die with us for 2 weeks, right? So Canada, at the time, before the truckers did what they did, what was the country doing? We were all locked in our houses, scared and afraid, you know? And so what happened as the convoy started going by? What happened? We went into our closets and we grabbed our red pullover or our jersey and we went into the garage and grabbed our flag and we walked outside and we stood together, right? And that's leadership. That's leadership. At the core of what leadership is you inspire people to be better, right? And as I was ugly crying on the couch, like watching this, because I'm like, this is the greatest thing that I've ever seen in my whole entire life. It's the greatest thing I've ever witnessed in my whole entire life, right? Because we woke up as a country and we said, enough is enough. Enough's enough. I'm tired of being abused. Tired of being abused. I'm tired of being scared. I'm tired of being depressed. I'm tired of having 6 or 7 panic attacks every single day. I'm tired of it. Tired of it. Right? And it was such an incredible thing. And so to the truckers, thank you for exposing all of the corruption, all of the lies, all of everything that was going on, right? So, on my journey to some sort of wellness, right? I tell people I'm still crazy, right? It's just way more manageable now, right? It's just way more manageable, right? But it's the craziness, my craziness makes me unique and individual, is those experiences I've had in life, right? Which all of them truly have been gifts in my life, right? All that pain, all that suffering, all that stuff got me right here, right now, right? In the greatest fight of our lives, right? That's why I'm not afraid. Because guess what? I shook hands with the devil a few times, right? And I'm still here. I'm still here. The devil kind of was like, he was scared, right? He was scared. Because he knew I wasn't. When the devil looked me in the eye, he goes, this guy ain't going anywhere. This guy's a fighter, right? And that's what we need to do. We need to wake up the fight in us, right? And it's okay to be angry right now. It's okay. It's righteous anger. It's okay. But you can channel that righteous anger into a movement, right? The JosephBourgault Team Canada movement, right? That's what we can do. And we need to come together. And we need to raise the vibration. And how do we raise the vibration? More prayer, more meditation, more faith, right? Because that's the antidote to fear, is faith and belief in something greater than yourself, whatever you want to call it, God, Allah, Buddha, Jehovah, a tree in your backyard, doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Faith will get you through anything, right? And that's what I've been taught by you guys, right? You guys taught me all this stuff, right? Those amazing people in this little town in Russell, Manitoba, instilled me with incredible morals of respect and love and caring for my fellow man and my teammates, and consequences, right? That I'm responsible for my choices, my actions, and my decisions. I'm responsible, right? And I built this amazing life based on those 3 things, right? Respect, love and caring for my fellow man, and consequences, right? And unfortunately, the other side hasn't faced any consequences. They haven't faced any consequences. They've been able to, but God's watching. God's watching. He's watching. He's watching what's going on, right? And at the end of the day, God wins. God wins. Right? He'll win. And each of us is a representative of God. Faith. Right? Faith. And that's the Canada that I grew up in. That's the Canada that created me. A great athlete who represented his country several times. Right? That's the Canada I grew up in, right? Where we care about each other, not divide each other, right? So I'm super excited about where this campaign is heading. I know it's picking up steam. I know it's picking up momentum, and you know, I'm just really honored to get to know Joe, get to know Joe's team, right? And looking forward to this weekend and Wednesday in Lloydminster. And so I just want to thank each and every one of you for taking time to come and listen to what Joe has to say. And like I said, you know, I'm Joe's bodyguard, and anybody that wants to mess around with Joe, they got to go through me. So, and I don't think they want to do that. Hey, Joe? Huh?
No, you're right.
You're right. All right, well, have a good night, and we're going to take a little break. Josh, are you taking a little break? Take a little break, look at your phones, you know, send a tweet out, grab some food, and yeah, we'll get Joe up here in 10 minutes. All right, thanks.
I just want to say something. He's still a superstar, isn't he?
Thanks, buddy.